Oh, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com, and it's funny. I'm a little winded. I did my run, and I've been increasing it probably every week or so, and then and I say it's not that important to me. How far can you run? When I was 41, I re-enlisted in the Marines, and it was for Desert Storm. And they said, well, went to the recruiting office, and I told them, and they said, well, you're too old. I mean, sorry, nothing we can do about it. So I gave them my business card, put my phone number on there, and I told them, give it to somebody. And then 2 days later, they sent a car, picked me up. And let's see, I was living down, where's I at? I think I was down in southern Kansas, almost to the Oklahoma line. So they sent a car all the way out there to get me. And then I did a physical in Kansas City, and they put me up against all these 18-year-olds, and I smoked them all. But one of the things I did to prepare is I'm not a runner. I don't really enjoy running. That's why it's not that long of a run. And when that's what I was doing, preparing, I thought, okay, you need to be able to, if you're going to fight in the desert, you better be able to run. So then I started running, and then I'd run a mile, and run 2 miles, and then I don't know how many miles it got up. And then it got to the point where I don't think it matters how far you can run. I think what matters is if you can run, and how long can you run. And I was running, golly, probably 35, 40, 45 minutes, maybe even longer than that. And I wasn't tired. I mean, I could just keep on running and keep on running. In other words, once you get to a certain point, then you can just, and then you're just jogging. It's not like a hard run, just jogging. And then, okay, once I got to the point where I thought, well, I can just run all day long. Once I got to that point, I thought, well, that's enough if I'm going to fight in the desert. That's plenty enough running. So that's what I did to prepare. And it was funny because now on YouTube, one of the things I watch is MMA. And I'm watching them because that's not realistic in the way of a real fight, but it's realistic on the pain that they endure, and that's because it's the pain that does you right. That's where you strengthen up, is the pain. Okay, when I was running, the pain of running. Once you can get past the pain, then you're okay. And then so I see them fight. I've been watching videos on how they train and stuff like this. And remember, it's a sport. So as a sport, there's rules, and there's goals that they're trying to do and stuff like that. So that's why it's not real. I mean, it's real what they're doing, but not for a real self-defense fight. And so, but anyway, so I watch different martial arts. That's why everybody asks me, what kind of martial arts you know? Okay, well, if I have to put a name on it, that tells you it's a sport. I don't do sports. I don't play football. I don't play basketball. I don't do this stuff. It's a sport. I'm too old for sports. And so I'm different. And I watch these. You see some of these guys are real muscled up, and another thing you see is it's not always the muscled up people that win the fight, you know, and then it's the one with the most, experience. And so then they get these monks that have been doing their martial arts all their lives, and they'll lose too. They don't always win. There's very seldom you find somebody that's always winning. I'm watching somebody now that's been winning all the time. I don't know her name, but she's a woman. She's got a body like a man. I mean, she is big and built. And I'm watching her, but she hasn't lost anything yet. So, but anyway, it's not that important. What I'm looking for is when they start the fight, I see who's got it inside, and then I'm thinking, the one that's tough inside is the one that's going to finish the fight. Not always, but that's a good one to tell. I mean, when you get pain and you stop, okay, that's not a tough one. In every sport that I've done, there's all kinds of excuses. If you're going to do a long distance run and you get a cramp, and then you say, "Oh, I got to quit because I got a cramp. I can't run." So any excuse will work. What I mean, when you're fighting and they poke you in the eye, and I got something in my eye can't see. I better quit. You know what I mean? You don't gain anything by quitting. Even if you're mangled, you're maimed. There's something that you can't do at 100%. One thing, I saw a guy that either dislocated his right arm or his right shoulder, or he messed up his right shoulder some way or another. And he finished the fight left-handed only, and he won the fight. And that's because it's what was inside. And so I'm thinking, okay, I don't understand how all this works. And then I'm thinking about myself. The last fight I got into was down in Mexico City. I think it's been almost 3 years now, 2.5 years probably. And I'm thinking, and I didn't finish the fight. I mean, they were either back up against the wall of the subway or on the ground, all of them on one side. The subway has no place to go. And that's my specialty, is a place where you can't get away from me. And so then, I stopped because I hated to finish what I was going to do over a $300 phone. So I just let it go at that. And so the thing is, it's not my age that has stopped me. And it's not my desires, because I don't desire. When I get into fights, I don't have a desire to get into a fight. I don't wish I get into this fight. And now it doesn't matter if we're talking hand to hand or we're using weapons. It doesn't make any difference. I don't want to get into this fight. I'm not saying I want to chicken out of this fight. That's the thing, and that's what I was wondering. Because these guys, I've seen these guys fighting, man, big old guys. And I'm thinking, man, and this, and you're thinking, that's not just a big old guy. This big old guy's been practicing, he's been exercising, stuff like that. So it's not some old guy you see on the street, I mean, it's a big old guy. He's been practicing to kick your butt. So, and I'm thinking, okay, so it's the guy's attitude. And then that's where it came back to me. I'm thinking, okay, so I've got the attitude where you're not going to victimize me. I mean, that's something that I just don't comprehend, being victimized. And then I'm thinking, okay, well, how can you have this attitude? And like I say, I travel throughout the world, and I still have that same attitude with me. And you hear me talk about, here in the United States, we have the Constitution and we have morals. And that should give you strength, because this is something, the Constitution is something nobody else has got, just Americans. So I'm thinking, okay, but when I leave the country, I don't have the Constitution. And so now we're back to the morals. Okay, so morals, how does that work? You know, how does the morals have me go to other countries and do what I'm going to do, whether it's illegal or legal in that country? I want to do this stuff, and you know, it doesn't bother me. You know, how does that happen? Okay, like I say, I don't know, probably most countries, I don't know for sure, but Guatemala, it's illegal to defend yourself. It's illegal to fight, so you can't fight. So if somebody's beating on you, you can't fight back, because that's illegal. It's illegal to fight. It's illegal to hurt this guy. Well, he was trying to hurt me, but it's still, he's the one that's going to get in trouble. Now, when you turn around and hurt him, now you're going to get in trouble. So then both people get in trouble. It's kind of like when they do in school and they try to say, well, you know, when the two kids fight, they both get in trouble. That's bullshit. You know, it doesn't happen. So they're teaching the kids to be a victim. You have to learn to be a victim. And that's why a lot of these foreign people coming in the United States, they're victims. We're not getting the strong ones from these countries. We're getting the victims from these countries. And then, so then I'm thinking, okay, now, so why and how? Okay, I have the attitude. It's the attitude I think is first. You get the attitude, you're not going to be victimized. You're not going to put up with this crap. Okay, now, if that's the case, what are you going to do about it? Okay, well, like I say, I've been carrying a gun since I came back from Vietnam, because that's when I learned. But I say I was fighting a lot of people every night. Not every night, but the nights that we would fight, I would be fighting a lot of people. So I learned it's better to have a weapon. I'm not saying the weapon is going to be doing all the fighting for me, but it's another tool that I'm going to need if I'm going to survive this situation. And so then I'm carrying a gun. I learn how to use the gun, and what I'm jogging. I've got exercises, videos on exercises that I do with the tomahawks. How to exercise a tomahawk with a staff, and then the Tai Chi. And so these are things that I do every day, all the time. You know, so in other words, I'm preparing my body. So my body can work. My attitude is I'm not going to be a victim, you know. And so I've got the tools, if not physical tools. I've got tools in the strength. Well, I'm not even that strong. Hell, I'm 72 years old. I'm not that strong. But like I say, I'm a whole lot smarter. I've got the experience. It's not that I've had the attitude and haven't had to back up the attitude. I've done all my crap, and then the attitude kind of came with it. You know, the more you defend yourself, the more you don't put up with people giving you crap, then the stronger you get. This is what I talk about when I say to live by your morals. Anytime you get a chance, you think, well, this is the morally right thing to do, and then you do that. And then as you keep doing it, you know, here, this, you know, there's a bum here. Do I give him $1 or $5? You know, what's the moral thing to do? You know, and then you make that decision, and then you either give him the money or you don't give him nothing. You know, whatever you think is the moral thing to do. Once you start making decisions morally, you're exercising your morals. And then when it's time, like these people want to victimize me, now wait a minute, they're going to do an immoral act on me. So for me, I need to do the moral act and stand up for myself. So in other words, you're already used to using your morals. That's the time that the morals will give you the strength. Like I say, I'm not that big, I'm not that strong, but I say, let me think, I don't even remember losing a fight. And I'm sure I did, I know I did when I was a kid during the racial problems, because like I say, I mean, you're talking 6, 8, 10, 20 against me, you know, you're going to lose at that time. Since then, I've learned not to lose, and there's a whole lot more than 20 I've taken on now. So, you know, you need to, get the attitude, and then strengthen all the skills you need to let that attitude hold its own. And then, like I say, I'm not a religious guy, but I'm highly spiritual. And then, so then, stand behind your morals. As long as you're not doing anything morally wrong, you know, and what you're doing is not unconstitutional, well then, what do you have to worry about? You know what I mean? But you better have a plan, and you better have the tools, you better have the knowledge, and you better have the guts. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.